you're watching GearWire.com. I am Owen O'Malley, and we are here with Shawn Rosenblatt of Netherfriends. Thanks for letting us hang out with you.
Thanks for coming.
And Shawn is playing at Pitchfork this coming weekend. So, are you excited about that?
I'm very excited. It's going to be a good time.
Cool. So, what do you? What are you doing sort of in preparation for that show? Because typically you don't have like sort of a set band roster, right?
Yeah. Well, I have people, drummer flying in from Philadelphia, and we're going to be practicing a lot in the next couple of days, and just kind of figuring out what songs we're going to play. Mm-hmm. And that's pretty much it, making sure all the equipment works.
And how many people are going to be playing with you at Pitchfork?
That's 3.
Just 3?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's always been 3 for the most part. I mean, every so often there's 4, or 2 or 1, but it's going to be 3 for Pitchfork.
Cool. So how did like the Netherfriends project, I don't know if you consider it like a project or a band. Yeah, so how did like Netherfriends start?
It just started as like, most people when they first start recording themselves, just writing songs, and I wrote a few songs in the summer, and I decided to find some people to play music with, and I did want to play music at some point when I was in school, but I didn't think I was going to be playing as much as I did when I started Netherfriends while I was attending college, and just found 2 people on Craigslist and just started playing and booked my first tour and got approached by a label like immediately, and it was just really fast, and it's just been fast ever since, just because I've kept busy. I think that's like the big key to bands doing what they really need to do to make it a career or something, is just staying busy and not saying you're doing things, which is what a lot of bands seem to do.
When you're actually sort of creating material, are you sort of like the driving force behind that, or do you work with other musicians that you're playing with to sort of like co-compose stuff?
It's usually just me. I mean, sometimes I try to find people who can bring stuff to the table. I don't want to have every input, especially drums. Like drums are one of those things where I'm starting to learn a lot more, and but I let drummers kind of do what they want for the most part, and then I'll kind of put in my own input, which is what I think a lot of people do when they play in a band. It's hard to like rely on other people sometimes, when it comes to it. Hence why I have so many people playing with me, because it's just like sometimes there's some people you're just like, I wish this person was more dedicated to it, and really, people have other priorities, which is fine, Yeah.
I'm sure anyone who's been in a band can relate to that.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit more about this project. Is it like, this is something you're doing while you're on tour?
Yes. Yeah, it's for the next year. So I gave up my apartment, and I'm just traveling the country with different lineups. I have a Philadelphia lineup now, and I have the Chicago lineup, and then this guy from Ireland is coming over to play drums for me, and he's gonna come with me to Seattle and Alaska, and then we're gonna probably come back here and then go back to the East Coast for a little bit. But it's gonna be all over the place, and just bring my recording stuff, a few mics, and sometimes people like that I stay with will have some stuff I can use, and that's always really fun. Like I got to use a cello and like play cello on a song. It was like I never thought that would happen, and got to record with a bunch of different keyboards that I would never ever be able to afford. Yeah. Really nice microphones.
Do you contact people sort of like in a town where you're going to play or a city where you're going to play, and like say like, come join me, like I'm going to sort of lay down some songs?
Yeah. Surprisingly, people contact me a lot,
because
I posted it on Facebook and on our website and stuff. So people will just come out or contact me and let me know, or come out to the show and be like, hey, if you want to come to my house, I heard you're doing this project.
Oh, cool.
But sometimes in places like Portland, Maine, where everyone's really passive-aggressively nice. It was kind of hard to persuade someone to let us stay at their house and record. They were not happy with that. They wouldn't give us the password to the internet because the guy said it wasn't his password to give out. So, yeah, Portland, Maine. I don't like New England at all. So yeah,
that's funny. That's what I've heard about. I mean, that's what I've heard about Seattle all the time.
Oh yeah.
Not now that we're bashing cities.
Yeah, let's just go through them.
Yeah, Austin. Ugh. No, I have no idea. Well, that's very cool. So it's like, and you invite people to sort of bring their own equipment if they've got recording equipment too.
Yeah. I like people that come with me, or are you talking about people that I stay with?
Like you said that you'd sort of like have access to like keyboards you'd never be able to afford, and like nice mics, like
Yeah, people will always be like, if you want to use my stuff, you can. But then sometimes they'll let you use it, but then they have to stay in the room. So I have to like write and record a song while there's this person like hanging out. That's happened 3 times now where it's really awkward. Cause it's just, I guess I'm so used to now, like I used to be so self-conscious, like most people when you do vocals by yourself, you know, it's like you have headphones on and you're singing a cappella, like there's no music coming out, just you singing. But I've gotten so used to doing that, it's not even a big deal. Like every time, and a lot of times when we're staying with people, we're staying in the same room, and I usually record it in the morning. So I'll write the song at night and then wake up like at 8 or 9 in the morning when everyone's still sleeping. And everyone's like snoring around me, and I have to like kind of push them off to the side, or get like a snore track. But but for the most part, it's like I'm so used to recording with people in the room. It's not even that big of a deal.
Is that a warning that you post on the Facebook invite? Like, I will be recording in the morning.
I guess I don't. Yeah, I assume that the people are okay with that. I don't make a lot of noise. It's not like it's usually like that's the other thing. It's the dynamic of the song kind of interprets, because if I'm recording in the morning, it's usually very quiet and usually doing like acoustic stuff or just keyboards and kind of singing afterwards when everyone's up. But yeah, it definitely affects everything that I do with the song, which is really a cool concept.
So when you're composing a song, is there a certain part that you usually start with? You start with a melody? Like, how do songs usually come about for you?
It's just, I'll just play a series of chords on the keyboard or the guitar and just sing a melody that comes to my head for the most part. Sometimes I'll sing a melody, I'll just have a melody in my head and I'll sing it into my cell phone when we're in the van or something. It's I don't know how it happens, it's a bizarre thing to me. Because I think a lot of people think because I have a music composition degree that I look at music any differently. I mean, I think composition teaches you how to expand a melody or expand like a song, like a retrograding or diminution or augmentation of a melody where you just kind of stretch it out and vary it. And I think that's a great technique. But other than that, I don't really, write everything out by hand, notate it, or it's how most people do it, I think.
So, and do you sort of compose stuff in Digital Performer, or do you compose stuff sort of like as you're recording it, or?
It's kind of embarrassing because I think I spend so much more time. I very quick, like I just record it, and if it's a terrible take, I don't care. I'll go back and edit it, which is really terrible. But I think that's the power of the computer these days, is that you don't have to be like a super professional one-take guy. And I think that I would love if I could just do perfect takes, but it's hard to do everything yourself. If someone else was on hand to be like, that wasn't good, do it again. But when it's just yourself, you're like, okay, that was fine, whatever. I'm fine with that, or do it again, or punch in a lot. So there's like a million punch-ins going throughout the song. But
have you ever worked with someone who was in the sort of like capacity of like overseer or producer?
For Netherfriends, no. I can't think of anything. Like, I have friends who help out with mixing and things like that, or giving me ideas. Like, they'll listen to the songs and will like email me a series of like, the drum should be a little bit louder at this point, or all of that, and that's been really helpful.